Hello, this is Andrew Mora, owner of Mora Moto. People are able to see the top layer, the surface layer of success and the shine that comes with it. I feel often it's hard to capture the grind and all the effort that it took to get towards that success. This video is going to showcase all of the effort and discuss what it took for me to get where I am, so we can hopefully inspire you to be the best that you can be for whatever it is that you're doing. So enjoy the video. This is going to be about Mora Moto and the story that made it to be where it is today. All right, so my story begins in the northeast of the United States. I grew up in New York and I spent some time in Delaware, eventually landing a job just south of Philadelphia with Verizon Wireless. I worked with Verizon Wireless for a handful of years. Verizon Wireless taught me that the customer is the #1 focus for a business. And #2 would be the employee. #3 would naturally be the business. And if you take care of the first two, the third one takes care of itself. So after learning that and having Verizon just instill that consistency into my mindset with business, I started expanding and buying and selling cars. I remember the first car I ever bought was a Nissan Maxima from an old lady for $1,700. After I bought that car for $1,700, I sold it the next day for $3,300. I essentially almost doubled my money. After that first Maxima, I went and bought another one the same day that I sold it. And I sold that one the next day. And it really sparked my interest on what I could buy and sell. And that's truly what got me started on selling and buying vehicles. Once I found that I could buy a vehicle and almost double my money, which is not common, by the way. If it was, I'd be sitting in the back and someone would be driving. But nonetheless, once I figured out that I could profit with a buy low and a sell high, as long as I knew what I was buying and I researched well, I was off to the races. I started looking for whatever I thought would be the most efficient to buy, and I started buying motorcycles. I could fit 8 motorcycles in a garage. I can only fit 1 car in a garage, so it really started to become a match made in heaven because I loved bikes. They were easy to work on for me. I knew them very well. And it was really in sync with my lifestyle. I just truly enjoyed everything that motorcycles brought around. I've always been inspired by motorcycles as a kid. My mom never let me get a motorcycle. She was so against bikes. Once I started buying and selling them and I could ride different motorcycles, and I didn't live in my home, so my mom, wasn't under my mom's roof. It was bike after bike after bike, and every bike I got, I rode extensively, learned about it, researched it. It truly became a passion and an addiction, honestly. I just love them. I can't even explain it. I just love it. And that started my infatuation with getting to a state or to an area where I could buy and sell and had the most opportunity. What I ended up discovering was there was a few states that were high with per capitas, and specifically being Florida, Texas, California. Those states are really great states to ride in. The weather tends to be pretty solid in most of the state. After I figured out Florida had the best cost of living and, in my opinion, the best quality of life, overall the best combination, I ended up moving down here in 2010. I moved down here with a budget rental truck. All right, I rented a budget moving truck and a big box truck. And I paid my friend Charlie to drive my Camaro Z28. I took out the passenger seat from my budget rental truck, the box truck that I put all my belongings in. I put a big blanket down for my 2 German Shepherds, Kobe and Stella. Stella, rest in peace, she's not here today, but Kobe and Stella, those 2 dogs really gave me the confidence that I didn't have. I was alone, I didn't have any family down here, and driving down here was a bit scary to say the least. So I knew I had a dream, and I was confident in what I wanted to do. So I came down here, those 2 dogs. If I could recommend you to get a dog, if you're a single guy in his early 20s, it provided responsibilities to me that I didn't understand. I don't want to say similar to a child, I don't have children yet, but the responsibility and the love that I felt for my dog to get home and feed him and take care of him, it just gave me more opportunity to get home and hang out with my dog rather than go out to the bar and, you know, try to pick up, you know, random chicks or just drink with your buddies. So those dogs, man, what good credit I can give to them for keeping me grounded. And while I was at home with them and spending time with them, I'd find deals and I would dedicate myself to what I wanted to do, which was my dream of owning a dealership. So we moved down here together in a budget rental truck. Good times. And I hope that inspires you. I hope we leave that on the video because it's hard, you know, I had, you know, my family up north and my friends, and I had a dream, you know, I had nothing but a dream and not very much money, you know, a few bikes on, you know, a few bikes worth of money. You know, getting down here was something that was scary for me. It was trying times. I had no one to believe in, and you know, I believed in myself. That's all you need. So, and a good team. You know, thank God. You know, it's not all about yourself, but you know, when you don't even have an employee and you don't even have a business, you only have a dream. Sometimes those down moments are the best times I've ever had. You know, and when you're down and out, just remember that, because without those moments, you won't ever achieve greatness, and that's a fact. So it's all dedicated to just persevering and pushing with what you have going on. So anyway, we get down here in 2010. It wasn't necessarily the smoothest start, you know, but I realized really early that sometimes the greatest outcomes don't start off the smoothest. In fact, I've learned that some of my greatest roads that I've traveled have started off rough, and it's only been through a good attitude and persevering that, you know, I've had the ability to continue striving towards success, the opportunity towards it, not capturing it, you know, because you only get a chance at grabbing it. You don't automatically get it. I bought a single bike trailer, and I had a sedan that I put a hitch on. It was an old school, like an 02 3 Series BMW. So it was at that point a 12-year-old BMW. I put a hitch on it and a single bike trailer, and I started buying bikes. I remember the first bike I bought, holy smokes, I don't know how it got home. It was an 07 Gixxer 600. My female German Shepherd came with me. I remember her looking at me like, man, I don't feel like this is safe. That bike wobbled a foot each way the whole way home. I did not understand how to strap down a motorcycle, and I was a blessed man to get that home safely. It was not an ideal circumstance, and I started to buy and sell more and more bikes. I started to buy and sell Harleys. I started to buy and sell sport bikes, sport touring. I really just started to dive into the motorcycle community. I started to meet some of the connections that I still have to this day. I've met some of the customers that I still have to this day. Before I even had a dealership, just unbelievable. You know, I met Dank Wheelie within my first year of starting the dealership at the building we're driving to go see right now. And you know, some of the connections that I have that are the strongest today that I've ever had in my life, they started at these moments that I'm expressing, you know, as buying and selling bikes, buying and selling parts off of bikes, buying parts from people to fix my bikes. I think the consequence of having that drive and that passion to do that just by nature will deliver the results of everything that you want, materialistic, because materialistic things like money and nice vehicles are a consequence of you being a good person with good energy and having a good product and providing a value to a consumer, to an individual, and earning their trust. And I think you have to do that repetitively and build a brand and a reputation, at this point nationally, if you want to compete on a business level. It's important to stick to those core beliefs, because if you don't, people will see right through it. And I know I do, and I see fluff all the time. I see bullshitters all the time. and it's easy to spot one. So just be real with yourself. And I think as a business owner, I've learned that I'm constantly in a state of wanting to improve. So we're getting off the exit here in St. Petersburg, where I started my first dealership. I wanted to find a location that was really close to the highway. Pinellas County has one of the highest per capita for motorcycle endorsements in the country. And this location happened to have been by a Harley-Davidson dealership. I could throw a rock at them. I love driving by my original location. We're getting ready to pull up. This brings back the memories. It is truly a really good feeling. We are here at my original location in St. Petersburg, Florida on Haynes Road. At this point, Morimoto is a dealership. We are a licensed dealer in the state of Florida. We have a 2,000 square foot building. My landlord is the recycling center owner to my right, and then to his right is a trailer park. We're on Haynes Road, just a moment from Harley-Davidson, just a moment from the highway. Good location. Average situation, but again, at this moment, the only thing that I knew was to treat my guests with integrity. They weren't going to be wowed by my building. They weren't going to be wowed by the circumstance that they came to in terms of the layout of the building, but they were going to be wowed by the way that I did business. So once they walked in my doors, how I treated them was everything that I had, so I made sure to treat it that way because I knew the importance of it. So this is the first building that I hired my first employee, and then this is also the first time that I realized that I could continue expanding. We went from this 2,000 square foot building here. In the back, we added another 2,000 square feet for our eBay department. I ended up coming into a really good deal and buying out someone's eBay parts, and I hired my employee to run the eBay department. It quickly turned into 2 employees, which then quickly turned into a lot more revenue for us to go out and buy more motorcycles. We got locked in with a few banks, and that's all she wrote. At that point, we were running strong. We were retailing bikes to customers. I stopped selling to the dealers, the wholesalers. I was still dealing with exporters, but we were retailing the best of the best that I had, and we were rolling. We went from 5 bikes to 10 bikes. At 10 bikes, we were at 15, then 20, 25, 30 bikes. And around 30 bikes, I discovered what a floor plan was, which is simply the ability to leverage credit and add more inventory using OPM, which is other people's money. I have used that leverage now to grow into 40, then 50, and 60 bikes. And right around 60 bikes, this location was so jam-packed, there were days when we put every bike in and we had to move a couple just to sneak the last 1 or 2 in. And at that point, I knew that it was time to start searching for the next location. And thank goodness for the timing, because within 6 months after leaving here, they shut this road down for major construction, and it had been shut down for over 1 year. And that would have been just such a killer on my business that had been here for 4 years up until that point. So we spent the first 4 years of our existence in this dealership, and now we're gonna fast forward to 2016. At this point, I started searching for a new building. I found one. It was only a few minutes from here. Let's go check it out, and I'll show you exactly what happened next, and I'll tell you all about it. We had 6,000 square feet on Haynes Road, 6 employees. Park Boulevard is 12,000 square feet. I knew I was gonna have to hire more employees. I knew I was gonna have to get more motorcycles. We also had to do the construction on a 12,000 square foot building before moving in. Morley, my technician, and I, and a handful of other people completed the work. Shout out to Morley. Did an extremely great job at doing whatever it took. The guys that I had back then, a lot of them still with us now, are just do what it takes, and they've done everything from construction to sales to technicians, and that's the attitude that got us to this next level. Round 2 was getting ready to begin. At this point, we had a 5-star reputation with about 300 reviews on our Google, and we were extremely proud of the reputation that we had. The majority of our inventory that we were buying was purchased up north. We would buy motorcycles up north because they were not able to be ridden all year around. So we'd get low mileage bikes that were typically kept indoors, and we would be able to buy them in strong buyer's market conditions, meaning if you're not able to ride your bike because it's cold up north, there's not many buyers out there wanting to buy it in your area. We would come through from Florida, buy their motorcycle, bring it back down here, make sure the bike was reconditioned, had good tires, chain and sprocket. I created a process so our technicians understood how important it was for us to prep every bike so the customer got a flawless motorcycle that was not going to have any issues. Now, things happen and we stand behind the product, and I always say, I can't show you how good we are until something bad happens, meaning I can't show you everything that I say I am until something goes down and I have to stand up for what I believe in, which is we're going to stand behind the product that we sell. That is what got us the reputation of 300 reviews, a 5-star, and gave us the opportunity to get into a new building. Aside from buying a product, a helmet that they could buy anywhere, what's the difference between them going there and to Morimoto? The difference is us, our knowledge base, how sharp we are with our product knowledge, how well we treat our guests, and how genuine we are in our approach with our customer. And I knew the dynamics of creating that experience were important from Verizon, and I knew that I was going to set out to make sure the experience was everything it was on Haynes Road, plus some, because we were moving into a nicer, bigger location that was going to give us more presence as a dealership in the Tampa Bay market. So the year is now 2016. We started to figure out that we had the recipe right, and we really started to see the writing on the wall that there was just a lot of opportunity in our Tampa Bay market. We have our store in St. Petersburg. We just expanded. Going into 2017, we start to seek another store. We explore our way over to Tampa. We immediately, the first day that we started searching, found a great location on North Del Mabry, which will soon become the new Morimoto in Tampa Bay. All right, so the year is 2017. Morimoto is doing really well at its new location, 1 year into the bigger store in St. Petersburg. We start shopping around for a new location, a second store in Tampa. We end up on Del Mabry, a late night, driving up and down Del Mabry, trying to find a spot. We see a for rent sign in a building just up the street from Harley Davidson. So once again, near a Harley Davidson, it's worked pretty well for us. Opportunity just kept coming our way. It was the beginning of a lot come 2017. It was the beginning of a building that then gave us the relationships and the opportunities to continue expanding. So we're getting ready to pull into the Morimoto of Tampa Bay, and then coincidentally, we ended up buying the building next door, and we have both buildings side by side, over 24,000 square feet. Oh, it's got different color eyes. How unique. That is awesome. Hi, cutie. Not you, ma'am. I'm talking to the dog. So this is the facility that I was talking about as we drove into Tampa Bay, our original location. We moved into this dealership as an independent dealer. In 2017, we did not sell anything new at that moment. So we started growing into this dealership with parts, sales, and service, and slowly expanding our touch on serving both sides of Tampa Bay. So in this building, I learned quite a bit as an entrepreneur, starting a new store in a new market, a new city, although very close to the original location, is a whole different dynamic. It might as well be an entirely new business. Managing the everyday routine, the employees, finding double the motorcycles, managing the cost and budget of the parts department ×2, the service department, service techs, service managers, all of the labor that comes with it. It was certainly a lot to learn, and we had to learn on the fly. So as we start to get into our first year in this location, naturally, as an entrepreneur, I continue to look and expand on any other opportunities that I see. Come 2019, Morimoto is growing in parts sales and service. We're still an independent dealer at this point. I end up finding out that a local dealership in Tampa Bay, Yamaha, KTM, and Kimco, is available and they want to sell their franchise. I go into negotiation with the owner right into COVID 2020. I'm locked in a contract ready to buy multiple franchises from a retiring dealer in Tampa Bay. Talk about stressful, but what a beautiful saving grace. The market for dealerships and power sports is absolutely on fire in a good way, with sales selling out in just about every single area of the market for power sports. What I did is I would follow up with the actual OEMs just to let them know that I was here and what I was about, and that if there was ever an opportunity to keep me in mind, just in case of the slim chance of an opportunity coming available. I did that with Indian Motorcycle for 2 years in a row, and on the third year that I called, a gentleman named Adam, who I've been speaking with previously, had told me it was perfect timing because they had just opened up an opportunity to open a new Indian Motorcycle in Tampa Bay. And he had been exploring options and opportunities for a dealership, and that he was coming to check out Morimoto. So Indian Motorcycle came to this building, and after talking and seeing that Indian Motorcycle was a real possibility, we came to the conclusion that we were going to be out of space again. So naturally, we ended up just buying the building next door. We're going to move 15 feet over. We own that building, and now we have these 2 buildings here that allows us to service our customer and provide them an experience that is even more grand than our last one, and way more grand than the original one that you saw earlier in this video. So we bought the building next door, which is originally a Kawasaki dealership 25 years ago, turned into a laser tag facility, turned back into a power sports dealership. So it has a lot of history in it, and it had the bones of a dealership. We went in there and spent $250,000 rehabbing it out. No investors, all our money due to good compound savings and conservative spending. We went in there and put our heart and soul and really everything that we had in terms of what we wanted a dealership to be and the experience that we would expect if we were a consumer ourselves. It goes back to those days with Verizon Wireless. It's all about the customer, the employee, and the actual business. We took that serious, we kept applying it, and over time, we really created a lot of success. Let's walk around and let's take a look at what we have going on in this dealership. I want you to see what dreams are made of, and when you focus on what you want, if you are consistent and disciplined in what it is you want, even when people aren't watching, you're working hard. You're working hardest when no one is watching. If you combine that over time consistently, you can do exactly what I've done. We have no investors, we've gotten no money. I'm very proud of that because we've done it from the mud day by day. So if you believe in yourself and you work hard with good work ethic, you can also do it yourself. I hope this video inspired you to be the best that you can be, because anything is possible. I'm a Dominican Hispanic male from New York, born in Dominican Republic. I moved here when I was very young, and I've done nothing but grow in this country. So if you believe in yourself, keep working hard. Until the next time, ride safely. I'll see you then.